DC and Kat, and oh no, I can't hear you. Let me see.
That was me. Coconut. She was right here. You could only see her little ears. But I was just saying there's another cat too.
Love it, love it. I don't know what I do know partly what we're watching tonight, and I did blur her face out of respect, because I know Kat blurs people on her channel, and
You don't have to.
Oh no, I'm happy
You're
to do
fine.
it. It was literally like I just put a little blur on him, so uh I I I, I I don't know if we're ever gonna be able to unhear what she's gonna say about fruit, and and I love that I'm gonna be reacting to this with Kat because Kat is a registered dietitian. She also does she has lots of other certifications, and I would love her to tell you about what she does because I think, are you still taking clients, Kat?
Yes, I
Okay.
am. So I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist, online nutrition coach. I focus in on sports nutrition, digestive health, and prenatal nutrition. Overall, helping people build a healthy relationship with food. So by just with what I focus on, I end up getting a lot of people who are leaving MLM and just restructuring, deconstructing diet culture that is so often part of MLM. So yeah, that's me.
Love that.
That's it.
And
Hey,
Kat
y'all.
has also come into the assist for things we've watched in lots of multi-level marketing companies. Like, that's not what that study says, and that's not what that means. So, yeah, we're ready to hear the fruit shame. This is from our buddy from last time when Kat and I went live, and she is doing the most in her Facebook page, and we have this video. She's sped up to 1.5 because it was over an hour long, and I was like, I don't think we can hear the fruit shame for over an hour, so we sped it up, and I'm gonna pop it in here. Let's see. How am I supposed to do this? Pop.
Here, I'm wearing red
Oh
tonight.
god.
This is
I need to make sure the sound.
Still the large amount of oils in the back. That is very nicely organized by color.
Yes. It's
That
very
you
aesthetic. It's
appreciate that.
very aesthetically pleasing. It's kind of like those
That's
that
about the
show on
only
Netflix
positive.
where they organize stuff and then you have all the colors. I don't remember what it is, but yes.
What is that? That sounds like something that I would enjoy.
It's, what is it called? I will find it. It's on my Netflix thing. I will tell you what it is after I'm
I love organization.
Yes, if you love organization, it'll be your jam. It will be your jam for sure. Hello everyone. Also just a reminder, we're being respectful here. No name calling, no diagnoses, just be on your best behavior. You can be sassy and snarky, but civil and respectful. There's a good mix that y'all can do. And I think at this point, I hope everyone kind of knows the rules if you're new. We try to keep this like a non-mudslinging corner of the internet. It's already hard enough reacting to misinformation and unethical business practices, unethical recruiting practices, and it's just we want to keep it a little bit above board, not too much. We're still gonna get splashed, but it's just a little bit above board. So, that's what we do here.
This is the butt stuff lady.
Yes, this is a butt stuff lady. Unfortunately, I did not blur her face out when we learned all about suppositories that we never wanted to learn. And this is the Facebook group that keeps on giving. I don't know how it happens, but if you're looking for that Facebook group, send me a DM. I'll let you in, or I'll send you the link. We'll both. I think Kat and I are both in that group, aren't we?
Yeah. Uh-huh. We are.
Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna rewind it and let me know if everyone can hear it because I might need to put it on a different channel. Okay.
Oh, and hopefully we'll get back to the Young Living transcript reading.
Yes, we will. Eventually. We will. I was just like, Kat, she hates fruit, and she's like, we are going to react to this. So it's just a little bit of a holiday break for fruit shaming, because we all needed this in our lives apparently. So a little bit of a trigger warning, food shaming, misinformation, but so if you're sensitive about topics around food, this might not be the stream for you. I think that Kat, being a professional in the space, is going to be able to bring some clarity and logic to it. So if you're on the fence and thinking like I could probably handle it, and Kat's going to be here as well, you may want to stay, or no hard feelings if you have to pop out. You're more important than any stream that we're ever going to do. Your mental health is important. So make sure to take care of yourself. Okay. Here we go.
You look so festive.
Can you hear?
Whatever. It is what it is. But
okay.
We've got, I forgot to turn the lights on. We have, we did something new this year. And so we're kind of that weird house on the corner that everybody passes. So every year since we've lived here, we've tried to do kind of like something a little bit more interesting. So the first year we were here, we hung bistro lights everywhere. So it was an odd thing, like nobody was doing that. So instead of normal Christmas lights, we had bistro lights everywhere, and it was pretty cool. So we hung those for the first 2 years, and the next 2 years we decided to do strip lights. So the strip lights that you put like in your room, and we did them everywhere. And they're the outdoor strip lights, but they only lasted 2 years. And even last year it was kind of hard because some of them weren't working. And it's a pain, right? Because they're kind of permanent. So when you pull them off, they kind of pull the paint off. So we pulled those off. And this year instead, I'm like, we're not going to be hanging lights, but I want it to look cool. So we got those panel LEDs that are, I don't know, like $8 each. And it was under 200.
She's going to explain it, but this lady is also getting her doctor of naturopathy. She's taking her test in March or something of next year. So she's got a lot to say about everything, and it's not a good time. It is not a good time. So, yeah. And if you're new to the stream, she's in Young Living Essential Oils. I don't know what rank she is. I think she's higher up there, but I don't remember exactly what rank she is.
I can't remember.
I'll have to look it up.
$100 to do the entire house and backyard and everything. It's crazy. So it almost, I don't know how to explain it, but do you remember as a kid, those color panels that would kind of go into each other, and you'd say like red and yellow make orange, and like you'd see the color panels. So our whole house has lights that are paneled. So basically what happens is the colors rotate through, but they are constantly changing. So I have to go in. So on my phone, on the app here, I can actually change all the colors and the rotation, but I have to kind of like make sure that they're kind of in succession, and you can kind of control the whole. So it's pretty fun. So it's so fun that our neighbors decided to do the same thing. So they went and got some as well. I think he probably popped over and checked to see what we have and got some. And so their house, we almost have this like theme going. So it's pretty fun. All right. So those are all lit. I had to make sure they were going. All right. Anyhow, welcome. We had our really fun giveaway last week. Not all of you.
Sorry, that was my dog.
Was that whole thing not related?
To give us your.
Nope. It's just her intro. I don't know. For people to put on,
I was waiting for how it was going to relate to oils, but okay.
Yep,
moving on.
Yep. Nope. Yeah, we're just, she's just telling us she's the popular person in the neighborhood. So I think we've, okay.
Shipping address so that like we can give them out to everybody. So if you won last week, the thousands of dollars worth of giveaways we did last week, you gotta let us know. So I'm just gonna go over again. The iToby, Mona Green, she did reach out to me. She was one who did. The shelf. So one of you won this double beautiful shelf here. Paula Johnson won that. Bag & Co was Mary Palmer Lorenz. Mary Palmer Lorenz. The Oxy Serum was Cindy Gumphrey Abbey. 2 months at One Drop Club. We already got her in. Amy Aswad. Did I mispronounce? Is it Aswad? I'm gonna have to ask her tomorrow. $25 gift card. Amy Tompkins Latour. The Shungite. Rhonda Baker Christ and Peggy Losi. So Rhonda reached out to me. I don't know if Peggy did or Peg. I'll have to check with her. Oil books, or excuse me, Ollie. I read his name wrong. Ollie. I always want to correct that. But Ollie, Dr. Ollie's books, 2 books. Crystal Marie Henderson Knapp, the Rustic Oil Chick. That the really cool thing up there is Laura Whitaker. So I guess Laura Whitaker. I'm assuming that.
Hey Harper, is it okay if I make you a mod? Blink twice if it's okay. Or just let me know. You can either message me on Instagram or just say in the chat if it's okay.
It's like a husband and wife name. The Silver Orange Boutique items, Glenda Brackett Wild, and the Vita Iron Liz Van Handel Kaczynski. She hasn't reached out to me. And the Harvest book, Lori Bori, by Lori Bori, is Sharon Seifert. So lots of winners. And we're waiting for you guys to kind of like give us your address so we can get those things out. So very fun. Use the chats if you look at Peg's like, I won something. Yes, you did. So it was announced last week. So I'm glad you made it on here. Email tim@31oils.com if I announced your name, so that we can get your address to all of these wonderful people who are giving things away. And some of it's from us, but we put this together again with no strings attached. So all these people are they're some of my favorite things, and they were kind enough to say yes, they would ship something out to you guys. So it's like super fun. Okay, so let's get into the questions.
So this stream is just her answering her questions with all of the lack of she's getting a doctor of naturopathy. I don't know like what that means. Like what can they do? They just know about tinctures and supplements or what?
Typically not covered by insurance either. Typically that's when people who either have issues, who are meeting with doctors who don't listen to them, just get frustrated, which is so unfortunate. Not fully, I mean, there's so many reasons why that can happen. Or just people who don't trust them to begin with and go to them.
Yep. Okay.
I'm a holistic practitioner studying to become a naturopathic doctor. And I'm really excited about that. I will take my board certification in March. So moving right along. And it's been really fun. But I have just gotten on here every Tuesday. We do this every Tuesday now. So it's called Tuesdays with Jen. And it's just an open Q&A, open area for you to ask your questions that you have about health and wellness and natural modalities. So let's just dive in. We pre-ask the questions, and if we have time afterwards, which we might tonight, we can be open to questions for the rest of you. So please make sure you tell your friends about this and get them on here and just text them the link. It's the same link each Tuesday. Okay, which oils and supplements does my son, so your son, use to support his weight training? She's asking to get ideas for possible things for her son. So my son is 14. Some of you might have seen the handstand push-up video that I posted. It's just ridiculous. He's able to do 5 handstand push-ups in a row. I only did 4 because that was the only time I videotaped him, but I've seen him do it 4 or 5 times. He's trying to get to 12. I'm like, I don't think your brain and the blood rushing to your brain.
They're talking about like weightlifting.
That, but good luck.
Yep. And
not body, by the way.
Yeah, she's about to say he does plyometrics, so he doesn't lift any like dumbbells or anything yet, but she's about to explain everything that he eats and how fruit. This is where the part where the fruit comes in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a pretty impressive thing. So he is just doing what's called calisthenics. Some of those of you from like the 80s and 70s know what that is. I had to kind of look it up when he told me, because I was like, what are you doing? Isn't that like Jane Fonda? So he's I don't know. He's doing nothing. He's not doing weight training. So he's not actually, so everything he's doing is based on his own body weight. So his whole thing, and I asked him, what would you say? Because he does take some supplements, but I'm going to tell you something a little unusual about this 14-year-old, because he's my child. my husband will not do anything change. Like I tell him what to do and he's like, whatever. My son, on the other hand, and I'm trying to get a picture of him for you because he's just a goofy kid, but he has been, over I guess the past year, been really it's been important to him. So he's 14. So just to give you an idea of the muscles on his
man,
kid.
sorry,
that was a couple months ago.
Didn't blur that.
Now. So
sorry.
He's a funny kid, but he's very clean. And what I mean by that is I always gave him a choice. I always gave him a choice of, you can have that, but this is what happens to your body when you have that. So you choose. And I found that
choice then. Is that a choice, scaring your kid into like what will happen if they have something that's not the pick that you want?
Right. One of the things that I immediately think about is, I mean, even if you look at different how you're asking questions on studies and polls, you have to write them a specific way, because you can really change the outcome based on how you word it.
Yep.
And so, yeah, he doesn't have the full, and he's also a child. His brain is not fully developed, which is understandable. It's expected. And so of course he's going to choose, more of that route of the clean that she was talking about.
Child choice is giving him power. And it's not me telling him no. So for breakfast this morning, 4 scrambled eggs and a huge pile of steamed broccoli. That's it. Doesn't even want any butter on it. I have to do the spray pan coconut oil and that's it. And then the broccoli is just steamed. Like we go to Cheesecake Factory and he gets the plain salmon with a big old thing of steamed broccoli, which they don't even have on their menu. He's like, I want the broccoli plain. Don't put any of your stuff on it. So he is all about clean eating, because he's found that the body fat, if you're trying to gain muscle, you need lean protein with good vegetables. And he's up to 4 different vegetables now. So he hated vegetables for a long time, and he's now realizing it's good for you. So he's trying to get his palate to change at 14, which is kind of difficult, because like when I was working, all I wanted was a Snicker bar, So it's literally like carrots, the basics, right? Broccoli, he likes green beans and peas for now. So we're working on more stuff, but I mean, it's like he eats salmon. So today for lunch, he comes home and he's starving. So it's a huge thing of salmon. Yesterday, it was a huge thing of mahi-mahi. Like he likes certain fishes, but again, super plain and just like kind of basic seasoning type thing. His friends all make fun of him. They don't understand it. But again, he's eating a ton of food, but it's like clean food. So
can you, I know there's a whole big thing about clean food in some nutrition circles. Is she just talking about food that like hasn't been processed, or
Typically, so that's not like an actual term. It doesn't mean anything in particular. And what is so frustrating about the whole clean eating kind of movement is that it can trigger a lot of disordered eating, something called orthorexia, even, where you start to fear foods that aren't clean enough or aren't pure enough. And I mean, that was even something that one of the reasons why I decided to go into nutrition when I was in my early 20s. I was fearful of eating certain foods, and really deconstructing that took, I mean, that's been over a decade, but it's, you know, it was a journey to go through that. And part of that was because of hearing about like the healthy foods and like clean foods and things like that. Clean foods to me is if it doesn't have dirt on it, right? Like if you drop an apple into a puddle, then you need to go clean it off, go wash it off. But yeah, I don't use the term clean eating or clean foods just because it insinuates that there are dirty foods. And on my channel, and I talk a lot about food neutrality, and there are no good foods or bad foods. And so, yeah, I hate that term clean food and clean eating.
Yeah.
It's basically orthorexia, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a big term that they throw around in Young Living too. I mean, on their private Facebook pages, because it's that same foundation that they sell their cleaning products and supplements and all this other stuff. You know, better ingredients, whatever, and it's just.
And I mean, what does it say if you're mostly choosing clean foods and then you go off and eat dirty foods or foods that are not clean? So it would insinuate they're dirty. Like, how does that just mentally make you feel? And yeah, not a fan of it. It doesn't do anything really to support a healthy relationship with food, in my experience. Orthorexia, it's not something that's currently, like, you're not going to find it in like the DSM-5, which is what is used by mental health clinicians to diagnose eating disorders. But I can see it being there in the future. Like, it's still something that we're learning more about, but basically it's that fear of not eating healthy enough, and that obsession over eating healthy, and anxiety, fear, stress when you're not able to eat that way. It's going too far. Like, yeah.
Lots of water. So he tracks his water and he knows he needs 5. So here's the difference. My son's like, what? So when I say 5, we have these 16 ounce, there's 17 ounce bottles. Now I know some of you like hate the whole plastic bottle thing, but this is just, we have terrible water here where we live. I have a Berkey filter. We don't always have the time to do the Berkey filter. So we get the Arrowhead, which is mountain spring water from where we live. It's actually a spring. It's not filtered tap water. Anyhow, so he needs 5 of those. And my husband's like, that's too much. And I'm like, no, it's not, because he's working out, right? So he works out in his bedroom for about an hour, but that's burning a lot of calories. Again, he's just doing pull-ups and push-ups and handstand push-ups and things like that. So the amount of water he consumes is, and this is the difference. So some of you know half your body weight in ounces, but if you are working out, you need 50, every 50 pounds of body weight, you need 1 liter. So 1 liter it's more. He's right. He's correct at how many ounces he's drinking. So, so that's kind of, you know, another way of looking at it is like half your body weight in ounces plus 20 if you're working out. He's consistent on that as well. And so as far as the supplements he takes.
So I'm sorry, just really quickly, Kat, when you're, I don't want to like put you in trouble, like giving recommendations online, but I guess like I'm hearing things that maybe someone listening to this stream sometimes will pick up ideas from people who have this mix of kind of a disordered approach to food. Do you, like with water, is she saying like stuff that's right, or is it wrong, or like I don't know, is there a generic thing you can say?
Yeah. So this is actually really interesting. A couple of years ago, it was at a continuing ed conference, and one of the presentations that I was looking forward to so much was one on hydration and recommendations specifically, so application. And basically I was just excited to have like this one, I mean, not expecting to have this one kind of recommendation, but overall with research and evidence, looking at your urine color is like the best indicator. And because it really makes a difference on what foods you're eating. If you're eating more produce, then you're going to consume more fluid naturally through that. And so your needs are going to change. Recommendations are going to change also based on the environment. So, like, what is the temperature? What is the humidity? And then also, what is your activity level? And so there's just a lot of things that are taken into account that one specific kind of equation does not account for all of those things. There's nothing that like exists in that way. So to get around that, starting at half your body weight in ounces is a great starting point, but then really looking at urine color and recognizing that when you are looking at what that color is, if it's surrounded or put into water, then it's going to be diluted, so it's going to be a little bit lighter. So just keeping that in mind. But yeah, that like light color straw has a lot of but yeah.
So quick tangent. There's a program going around, and I bring it up because lots of MLMs kind of take parts of it, but 75 Hard, Monate, and Beachbody kind of pull from that. And one of the conditions in that is a gallon of water or bust. Like, regardless, I see people doing it who are very petite and, under, I don't know, like I see a whole range of people. And the thing is, a gallon. It's like, well, for smaller people, they can't need it a gallon. I don't know. Like what? So
that can mess with their electrolyte levels too. That's a lot. I'm not a fan of 75 Hard.
I'm not. I am not either. But it's just like I feel like it's kind of making its rounds around the MLM community, and it's hard to wade through the stuff. Ugh.
We just give him the because he still can't swallow pills, which is just annoying, but he has digestive enzymes. So he takes the KidSense enzymes. I do 2 of those the Mighty Zyme for each meal. And then we have this big, large, chewable digestive enzyme as well that he takes. So because I need to get more enzymes into him, and the KidSense is great, but he's a little older. So he should be on the adult ones, but he can't swallow the pills. So he's digestive enzymes. You can get them kind of anywhere, but Young Living has the best. We have 4 different ones for 4 different like types of food eaters. So it's really interesting when you get into understanding digestive enzymes. It's not really a one size fits all approach. So there's that Mighty Pro for sure. That gut health is really important. So he used to make fun of me, like, I'm not an old man, Mom. I would line him up with all the pills. He takes the Super D, Super C chewables, like all the chewables. So he's like, what are all these? And the Mighty Bites. So those, again, all have to be refrigerated. So just know that those go bad quickly if you leave them out. Like if you're not taking it, if you don't take it over the whole month, which he's pretty consistent on it. So he does Ninja Red every once in a while, but not every day. And I go back and forth on that, thinking like you should have it every day. But I also track our Ninja Red, and I'm like, we're kind of running low, and he's young, he's fine, but I'm like, I need it for me. I'm a little selfish with my Ninja Red, but he definitely takes that more when we start hearing, oh, so-and-so's out of school, or, like I want his immune system raised. But that helps with all the hormones and everything as well. So those are the things,
that's a lot of supplements for a child.
Along with
it is. And you said earlier, he works out with his body weight, he eats clean, he takes a few supplements, and then she just listed off like a ton of supplements, and I was like, 14?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay, let's see.
With diet and lifestyle. So when I asked him, I can't remember his exact words, but it was a total 14-year-old of his advice to your child. That's something like it's about clean eating, like it's all about clean eating, bro. Like, so just, that was something that he said. So part of it, and he's right. Like you can't take supplements and he doesn't do any of the protein powders. I've asked him to, because I think he should be on Pure Protein Complete. That one is really good for muscle building. He's not a huge fan of like shake mixes. So we do acai berry bowls once in a while, low sugar ones. So we get the acai berry puree, sugar free, meaning they don't have, it's just the acai berry from Trader Joe's. So it's just clean. The other ones you get like at Costco have sugar added, which you don't want. So, but then we use like the, what is it called? The yogurt that is from Trader Joe's as well, but it's super weird. It's cashew yogurt. So it's not a dairy yogurt. He has he gets kind of gassy from lactose. So, if we're going to get Faye, it has to be
a question for you, Kat. Can vitamins?
I mean, yes, I'm not a pediatric dietitian though. So
okay. Well,
I don't know where I am. There I am.
There you go. I was trying to get you on top. There you go.
Oh. Yes.
So it would be good to ask someone like a PD pediatric dietitian about that.
RD who focuses on kiddos.
Cool.
But was she talking about, so with the protein, like, yes, protein can help with muscle building, of course, but you can get that from food like chicken or beef or even plant-based sources of protein. But he's only 14. So much of muscle building at that stage, it doesn't matter how much protein he eats. If he's not, I mean, there's this thing with kids, Tanner stages. And so Tanner stages, if the kid is below, like in a certain stage, and it has to do with like puberty, and if they're eating a specific amount but their hormones aren't ready to support that muscle growth and using that to have those body changes, then it's not going to do much to have that increase in protein from those kind of shakes. So like you can push all you want, but their bodies just aren't ready for that muscle building that we typically would see like in upperclassmen, high school and stuff like that.
Okay.
Lactose-free one, that means we need to go to a different supermarket. So he actually prefers the cashew yogurt, which is interesting, dairy-free, which is good. And then like the frozen wild caught blueberries. So and then some strawberries. And so he goes back and forth on that because he's like, he loves it, but that added sugar, and again, you think, well, none of that has any added sugar. Bananas are really bad to eat. Strawberries are not so bad, but still pretty bad. They've been hybridized. So if you can get wild caught blueberries, that's one of the only fruits I really recommend. Outside of that, you get into all the other stuff. It's all hybridized, which means it's been hybridized to be sweeter and more perfect, and these really don't recognize it. So there is actually too much sugar in the average apple that you're eating today.
Wait, a banana. How do our bodies not recognize it? What does it do? What does it do then? How do we digest it if it can't recognize? What is the difference between recognizing it and not recognizing it? Like, what is the science?
We don't know.
I want her to explain that because that makes zero sense. Your body will recognize it and break it down to glucose, to the carbohydrates.
Some people also say that the wheat has been so modified or whatever. That's why a lot of people have intolerances. I know you're laughing because like I'm just repeating what just like I feel like an idiot repeating this, but like that in the big like oil groups and the health and wellness ones that are more crunchy, like milk is bad, sugar is bad, some fruits are bad, corn is bad, like all those little weird things. It's like, oh, the genetically
unless you have
modified.
an allergy or food sensitivity specifically towards that, and even with food sensitivities, those can be, depending on where you're getting that can be non-evidence based too. So yeah.
Yep.
And pineapple.
Bananas are great. Bananas are awesome. So are strawberries and apples.
Yeah. It's just wild to listen to some of the stuff she says. It's
Shouldn't
just
actually
wild.
be any of that. So just to know.
None of it, apparently.
We refrigerate all of our supplements. So the only one I don't, though, although the back stock of it we do, is Mighty Pro. We have Mighty Pro in like a little coffee mug. We don't drink coffee, but we have mugs for people if they come over for tea and stuff. And one of the coffee mugs is all the Mighty Pro. But the back stock of Mighty Pro is in the fridge. We refrigerate all of them because remember, they're natural supplements. They're not synthetic. So they will go bad over time, especially if your house fluctuates in temperatures, which ours does. We live in Southern California, so we have a pretty wide range of temperature flex here. Most of my oils are in the refrigerator as well. So just know that. So that's something to know.
Except for the one behind you and on the floor?
That's him. That's Jacob.
It doesn't matter if you are. So one of the concerns that I have around even like whole food vitamins is that if it's not really a concern to get in antioxidants from food, like it's hard to eat more food than what would cause like issues with antioxidants. But when you start to supplement them in large doses, that can actually cause harm. And not to say specifically for young living in particular, but like you can have so many antioxidants where that promotes some cancer risk. So like, and even though it's coming from that whole food source, if you're having like large quantities of it over and over again, and that on top of other supplements, it's just a lot.
Wow.
And so and really, I'm not against supplements. Sometimes they can be very helpful within the context, though. And it's not like a blanket statement that everybody needs a specific supplement. But, I wonder if she is getting blood like tests to see if she is deficient in anything and if she really needs something. And that's just a lot. I mean, you have the cost issue of spending all that money and all the supplements, but also I'm concerned about the health issue too, of all of that.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, and again, lots of people. I don't think maybe a lot of people do. I don't think a ton of people know because the mindset is more the better a lot of times with stuff
Right.
and with antioxidants. Apparently, that's not the case.
No.
So that's good to know. That's good to
Yeah.
know.
Life.
And sorry,
they become no longer.
No, you're good. You're good.
Anytime that I hear somebody so many people aren't getting in enough produce, aren't getting in what is typically recommended by like national recommendations, also World Health Organization recommendations, of just plants in general. So like whenever I hear somebody recommending to reduce plant intake, including bananas and strawberries and apples, that makes me just want to get up and like, I don't know. I'm not like I've never harm anybody, but like I just want to like throw my my AirPod case over there. Just because it's so frustrating. We do not need to be recommending people to reduce their plant intake from food. No.
I feel like I'm learning so much right now. But again, it's like there's people again who are fully bought into these groups. Like it could be in any multi-level marketing company. This is not specifically us against this lady. It's us talking about ideas that continue to make the rounds in these groups that can in some instances harm people because they're giving again these blanket recommendations like odd recommendations in my opinion. Fruit is bad and antioxidants are good in all situations, and that's not the case. So
yeah. And this immediate red flag when people start to encourage the reduction of fruits and vegetable intake, unless you have a specific kind of sensitivity or like IBS concern that maybe one of those is causing or promoting.
Yeah.
Said I know citrus oil should be refrigerated one bin. Well, technically, citrus oil should be refrigerated once you get them. I mean, part of the problem is some of us have back stock of oils. If you don't, and you like you buy the lemon oil and you pretty much use the lemon oil in that month, you're fine. Citrus oil has a 6-month time frame. If it's just out, if you keep it in the fridge, it can last for a very long time. So to give an example, I have the tea tree oil. We have a huge wall of oil. So you guys have all wondered.
So she said, unfortunately, a lot of us have a big back stock of oils, but maybe you don't. So she's saying the quiet part out loud. But I don't think that Young Living is running through their citrus oils in 6 months. Maybe they are, but I mean, again, I think that Kat, and Kira has shared this, like there's expired stuff getting to people in the oil situation. I don't know about the supplement situation. So, and they're not refrigerating.
Even everything that's behind her.
I don't know. I mean, she's taking it internally and trying to diffuse the heck out of it. So
how much did you go through when you were in it?
If I was diffusing every day, I'd probably go through like so there's 65 drops in a little bottle, and I'd put probably 15 drops in, and that could maybe last me a day and a half. I don't know. So I'd go through a couple. Yeah, I mean, you can go through some stuff, but if you're putting it
in the kit that I got, I never finished one. I ended up throwing it away.
Yeah, there's a couple I did like. I liked Christmas Spirit. I liked Orange. I liked some stuff, but it's you can't go through all the stuff behind her. And there's no way. There's no way.
That reminds me, I was going to do this earlier. I need to buy all the ingredients to make the smell, like on the stove. You know how you put everything in there, like cinnamon and make a Christmas smelling thing?
Heck yeah.
I need to do that.
You do.
Probably where all the other oils went, because I have oil racks. So I have a huge oil rack now in the hallway. And some of the tea tree oils that are on there, the tops are all sticky. And I have older bottles of tea tree oil in the fridge, and there is no sticky top, because it just slows down the volatility of the oil just enough to not cause any deterioration. So if you have back stocks of oils, keep them in the fridge, especially the expensive ones. If you're thinking, well, wait a minute, I have like a lemon oil that has been out for, I don't know, 10 years. It's expired. Don't use it. Basically what that means is it's oxidized, and oxidation in oils just makes it burn. So you'll have like lemon that normally wouldn't burn, and it would burn like tender skin. So as far as other oils, generally speaking, and here's where it gets tricky.
There's photosensitive oils that they don't do a good job telling you. So if you put oils on your face and you go outside in the sun, you're going to get a freaking sunburn. So don't put any citrus oils on your skin. I mean, just don't put stuff on your skin. But I mean,
or up your butt.
Or up your butt, or take it intravenously through an IV. Just don't. No.
And I've gotten into arguments with people over this one. What does a cool, dark place mean? Because that could be subjective, but in packaging terms, in product production terms, right? A cool, dark place means, I think it's below 65. It got down to 68 here in the house, and we're all like freezing. We also have thin skin here in Southern California. But a cool, dark place doesn't mean technically this. This can get up to 73, 74 in this room. That's not considered cool. So that's kind of the kind of, you know, so I mean, my husband gets really mad because we've got a whole second refrigerator in the garage. It's got tons of oils and tons of supplements. It's like they're just taking over, right? But you have to just be aware of that. Certain oils are going to oxidize faster, even if they're not opened. So they're like I had a myrrh oil that I've not opened in years, just never opened. It's a closed bottle, brand new one that I just got from Young Living, and one that was, I don't know, maybe it's 10 years old, but never opened. And the one that was never opened was darker, much darker. Now, yes, different batches, obviously, but that darkness is what happens to some oils as well. And some of you have seen that on your lavender, like if you've left in lavender.
She had an unopened bottle. I think she's saying myrrh oil or myrrh. I don't remember.
Myrrh?
I don't know which one.
I heard myrrh.
Okay, so myrrh. So myrrh's freaking expensive from Young Living. So you got it 10 years ago, didn't open it, and ordered another bottle. Like what is going on?
How expensive are they from Young Living?
They're pricey. So like, let me see. Myrrh. MYRR.
Oh no. Tanya's doctor has seen lung infections from oils, people putting them in CPAP machines.
Oh no. My God.
Ugh.
Oh my God. Yeah, myrrh is $98.68.
Wow.
For a 15 milliliter bottle. So
I have not smelled it ever.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's very rich smelling, I guess.
I'm imagining like a clove kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think it's worth, and there's someone selling one on Mercari for $18. Okay. Yep. Oh my God, Young Living.
For years, and when you open it up, the orifice reducer will be brown. So again, that's oxidation. So just something to consider. All right. Let's see. What would be a good protocol to do when you know you have a stressful event coming up? Okay, so we've gone over some breathing exercises with you, but for instance, when I travel to do speaking engagements, I do a couple things. So the whole week before, this is so important. What you're trying to do is strengthen your adaptogenic response. Okay, so your body's ability to adapt to stressful situations. So traveling is always stressful, and if you have an event coming up that you know is going to be stressful, again, you want to be able to adapt to stress. So you're building up almost the stores of adaptogenicness. Okay, that's not really a word, but so for instance, turmeric has a high rate of it's an adaptogen. It helps you adapt to stress, but also building up your terrain, strengthening your terrain, fortifying your terrain. Okay, what is terrain? Terrain is the dirt from which you pull, meaning my vitality, what I have, the stores of energy, the stores of health. So I'm working through traditional Chinese medicine right now, and one of the interesting things, they talk moon shapes on your fingers. So take a look at your fingers real quick. And how many moons do you have? How many of these, moon shaped things do you have? And some of you will say, I don't have any. And some of you will say, well, I have some on my thumbs, some on my pointer fingers, and that's it. Or you might have, so here's the general rule. You need 8. None on your pinky, but the rest of the fingers should have them. Now, if you're like, I don't have them, that means you don't have you don't have any stores of health, meaning if you got sick, you're going down hard. So this is
what? I've never heard that.
I've never.
I need
now
some.
I feel like I need to call my brother or something who's a medical field, because I'm like, what the hell? I'm like looking at my fingers and I'm like, holy shit, like what the hell's going on?
I've never learned that. I've never heard that.
Oh my God. Y'all, if you're just joining us or if you are catching this on the replay, we're watching someone in Young Living in a video that she did for her team, and we're just getting surprised every second pretty much of the stream. I don't know what's I don't know what's going on. So don't
You
I
need a source
try
for
not to
that.
get caught up in what she's saying. So, ugh. Man, that is an old wives' tale. Your nails can tell you some things about your body, but that is way overly broad.
Again, from traditional Chinese medicine, if you have large moons on your pinkies, it means you have like potential heart stress issues. So super interesting. But again, this can tell you if your body has a good adaptogenic response. Can you adapt to stress well by looking at your fingers? It's just an interesting element here. So for me,
Karina, I think she thinks you're healthy if you have 5 because
She said 8, I think.
Yeah, 8, you need 8, so 5's pretty good. I only have 1, so this is not good.
I have 6 because my ring fingers don't have any. So that makes sense to me. I mean, I usually have them. Usually I'm looking at my nails, and I thought, well, I got sick a couple weeks ago from Jacob. He brought something into the house, and so we all got taken out. And it happens, you know. So I feel like I'm coming out of that and coming out of a stressful season, right? Thanksgiving, visiting family, the whole thing. So part of that though is building it back up. So what does that look like? Because
it could, I mean, be a sign of like trauma, like if you hit your hand on something, like physical trauma. Also like anemia, some malnutrition, but you need to see a doctor to rule that out. Like it could be nothing, could mean absolutely nothing.
Oh, thank you, Beth. I just have been crazy busy at work, so I'm gonna check my email. Am I healthy now? Did my autoimmune go away? Yeah, I'm anemic too, so that makes sense.
Weird.
Depletes your stores is anything that depletes your frequency, which would be like coffee, sugar,
frequency,
anything
give
acidic. Which what did we all just do? We all just had celebrations with probably dessert, too much of it, I'm sure.
If you don't know what Young Living believed about frequency, they think that healthy people vibrate at a certain frequency, and that sick people vibrate, that different sicknesses have different lower frequencies, and that giving you higher frequency oils like rose is going to bring your vibration up into health if you are sick. That sounds crazy because it's crazy. And they have little machines that they test your frequency with, and it's just a whole thing. It's just a whole
like the Itovi.
Yep, and they do muscle testing too. Do you know what that is?
Yes, something that a lot of chiropractors will do.
Okay. Yeah, because there's like herbal like tincture people who do like the herbal tinctures are different than essential oils, are not as potent. Anyways,
those are like blends and kind of herbal.
Yeah, there's more like steeped things as opposed to the super concentrated version, but they do muscle testing as well, and iridology and all that other stuff. Oh my gosh.
We had things that were rich, we ate foods that we don't typically eat. We eat lots of meat, which is acidic. Maybe you had extra coffee because you were trying to stay up and get stuff done or get up early. I mean, all that causes acid in your body. Same with your sleep pattern. So let's say you weren't sleeping well, or you couldn't sleep as much, or, all of this causes an acidic body, which will suck out the stores of vital energy that you have and the ability to fight back for your health. So the week before anything coming up.
When you're a let me ask you a hypothetical question. When you're studying, oh my God, when you're studying to be a registered dietitian, is there did you learn anything about acidic body and like a base body?
Oh, is that what she was talking about? I was reading the comments. I was like, I missed it. I zoned out. Yeah. So obviously, we do have part of our we need to be in a very specific pH. Our kidneys help with that. But if you are consuming, there's kind of this idea that you have to have an alkaline diet, but that's not going to change your blood level pH. Your body will do that. If it's not doing that, you're in a hospital and you're needing severe help. The reason why, so we have our stomach acid when we eat foods that helps to break everything down. It also helps to kill any kind of bacteria that's on there if it can. So stomach acid is great for that. But if you eat something that's alkaline, that's not going to change your on the way down after it gets broken down. The reason why sometimes people can feel better on an alkaline diet, it's not that it's alkaline, it's that generally the alkaline foods are going to be more fruits and vegetables.
Mm.
And they're going to be more nutrient dense foods typically. So it's not so much the pH that's a reason, but it's more of just the overall inclusion of generally more vegetables.
Okay, that's good to know.
That may be stressful. You have to eat as cleanly as possible. So that is a big deal. That means extra water, eat really clean, no sugar. Like people always say, how do you not have jet lag when I'm flying places? So I will fly places far and not have any jet lag, and I'm able to adapt really quickly. I used to have the worst jet lag because we have family in the East Coast, so we would be back and forth, and it was just the worst for like days. I couldn't even like manage. Well, I know why now. It's sugar. You literally cannot eat any processed sugar whatsoever.
That's so weird. I don't know. That's just such a weird claim.
Yeah.
I mean, that's purely anecdotal. I mean, if we're talking anecdotally, like I don't remember having jet lag. I flew to South Korea in 2019 and back, and I didn't remember having issues. And I definitely had sugar.
Yeah. It's just it's wild what logic like connections they try to make to support their views on food. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm glad she feels great. It's just that she's sharing things that are gonna get other people into trouble. Does that and she's also recommending things that are incredibly expensive too that they don't necessarily need to be purchasing. I don't know.
Just want her to, if she's sharing that, and that's like you said, it's great. She's feeling good. Say that it's your experience though, anecdotally. She's kind of claiming it. I don't know. Yep. I haven't. I don't think there's a study on that to support that claim. But if she felt great like that, then that's awesome. But that's an anecdotal kind of thing. That's not something to just kind of so surely say that is the cause of jet lag.
Yeah.
Or the reason.
The week before and during your flight.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was trying to put her in and she
you're good.
When I put her
in.
You're good. That was totally an accident. Oh my gosh. Okay.
During your travel days, if when you get to the location you want to eat sugar, let's say you're going on vacation and you want to eat sugar, fine. Just realize you will have jet lag when you come home.
Just realize you're going to feel awful.
So sugar just knocks out your ability to have a good adaptogenic response. So that's a big thing. As far as supplements, like I for sure add a little extra Nature Red. I mean, this is the red drink right now. So this is 2 ounces of Nature Red, a half a teaspoon of sulfurzyme. Sulfurzyme is really important for your liver and for your stress response. And I fill the rest with water. So that's a really yummy drink. I didn't add any oils in it, but sometimes I'll add lime or tangerine vitality, which makes it even more delicious. But I kind of like it as is sometimes, so I mix it up. Taking Agiles. I know some of you have learned to take it in the morning, but don't. Take it at night before bed. That's going to help your body much better. And if you're going into a stressful event, take it twice. So that means maybe you take golden turmeric at night before bed and you do Agiles in the morning. I do it the opposite. So I do Agiles at night because it has the things in it that I need for my actual physical body. So I need that hyaluronic acid in there. I need that collagen. So the specific type 2 collagen in there with the glucosamine and the turmeric in Agiles at night is a game changer for your joint health. Then in the morning, I would make this morning I had my turmeric drink, the golden milk drink with our golden turmeric. Fantastic. So that is something to kind of help your body's adaptive.
As someone who is sick kind of a lot, it's hard listening to her.
She's going to say it's your nails.
I know. Like listening to her, I don't think I've been outside of Young Living long enough to be like, oh my gosh, this has no draw to me, because it's like, oh my gosh, she looks really incredibly healthy. Her hair looks healthy. Her skin looks healthy when it's unblurred. And like, she's saying like she has all these positive benefits from everything she's buying and all the supplements she's taking, and her family's happy and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's just, as kind of it's still, even though I'm not a fan, I am not pro MLM. I obviously I speak out against it as someone who's like still trying to get back to being healthy again. It's still like, oh my gosh, does she have the answers? And like, I know she doesn't, but
no,
if you're sick or something, then sometimes this is like enticing to listen to. Someone who sounds so sure that they can help you. And so it's just like, oh.
That's a really good point. It kind of reminds me of the distributors who spend so much time talking about all of the things that they get with their like extra paycheck, and it's like Starbucks or like they paid for groceries or something like that, something that you could get with a different job. But it's just kind of, they're the only ones talking about that. In that same, I thought of that because I've like, I don't, and I don't talk about how I feel because it's just kind of weird. But I feel great. I have a lot of energy. I don't remember the last time that I was sick. I, don't want to like jinx myself or anything.
Knock on wood.
Right. I have not gotten what's going around the last couple years. I feel like awesome. I work out regularly. I don't have what she would say is the perfect diet. I eat sugar. I eat processed sugar. I don't have any foods that are off limits. So, but I don't talk about how I feel. And I don't know, because I think it's weird, but I feel great. And so anecdotally, and I didn't get jet lag when I flew across the world a couple years ago.
No, that's good. And I like having this balanced perspective, one that your registered dietitian, is that a license or a certification? Or like, I keep mixing those up.
Nationally registered, and then licensure is by states. So I am licensed in multiple states.
Yeah. Well, having someone like you who is able to share that experience, that in a very a non-extreme way, in terms of nothing's off limits, and we're listening to her saying the only way to be healthy and incredible is to have lots of things off limits.
And
it's
they talk
at least
about a lot of energy too. Maybe I should make a post like that.
Yes, you
because
should.
it just feels weird to be like, in the same way that people don't talk about how their job let them buy Starbucks like buy groceries, they just buy it. Same thing with health.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Ability to stress. And then up your vitamin D. That's a big one as well, that helps with moods. And just consider, like I said, your water intake, that you get enough sleep. Like, go to sleep early. If you know something, like being sleep deprived is just going to cause any stressful event to be more stressful. So just turn off the media, turn off. Where this month is our like stress away challenge. And so if you haven't been following along with us, make sure you do. It technically starts on December 13th, which is next Tuesday, but I always post things early or randomly, because it's not, I know some of you are like, wait a minute, I need to know earlier. Like, you really don't. You start it when you want to start it. So when you have all the supplies, start it. The posts are in there. I'm feeding you guys a post today right now on different things. Like today was take a nap. So I took a nap today. And it's great, right? I love being able to just like 2 o'clock. Okay, Jacob comes home at 3:15. I'm just going to lay down for a little bit. And it usually takes me a while to actually fall asleep. But when I do, I know I'll only have about 10 or 15 minutes to sleep.
If she has so much energy and getting so like perfect health, why does she need a nap?
Good question. Good question.
Why is she tired?
She just said she had incredible energy. So why are we napping? We don't know. I love a good nap though.
Yeah, nothing wrong with naps. And if somebody wants to nap, that's fine. But if you're going to talk about how much energy you have and how great you're feeling.
Yep. Oh yeah, they do these. So Melissa said you're making people buy supplies to participate in your stress program. Yep, it's a whole thing. So inside these Facebook groups with these independent teams in Young Living, they'll do like the Ningxia challenge. They'll do stress challenge. They'll do all these mermaid hair challenge. And so they try to get people who aren't just brand partners to come in to try it, but you have to buy the oils or the supplements or whatever so that they get a volume boost as well. And they also get a volume boost from their own brand partners who are going to participate anyway, because everyone's going to show how awesome it is on social media. So it's a whole exhausting journey of trying to sell shit on the internet.
I'm seeing so many comments about cookies, and I don't know what's going on, but I want cookies.
I think Janet was saying she didn't have any moons on her fingernails, and so she was not sure if she was going to survive the stream. And then she posted a little emoticon of like a little graveyard deal, and so they were all saying, you know, and then she said she returned as a ghost, and it was a whole funny thread.
These aren't I haven't, so this is kind of off, well, it's related. So I just put out my merch, like sticker merch.
Oh my gosh, yes.
This is not yet, you can't buy this yet, maybe, but look, I have this one. This is Mom B's idea. She let me take it, but this is cookies, not colds.
I love it, y'all. Kat has stickers you can buy, and there's a little cat
These aren't
one, isn't
available
there?
yet. This
But
is
isn't there
like a preview for
okay, but isn't there a cat one with like pyramid or what is it?
toe beans, not pyramid schemes.
Yes, that's
and then
so
the food
cute.
is neutral.
Yes, so definitely go support Kat for sure. Whenever she posts them.
Well, these are posted, but
Oh.
this one is like the next round.
Y'all, cat lovers, you know, I know you're in the chat. I know you're in the chat, and Kat has the link for that. So,
and there's another one that I'm saving.
Oh my gosh, we're definitely post them and tag me so I can share your stuff. Okay.
And then I wake up and Jacob's saying, pick me up from school and make my lunch. So he eats late. He does not like the lunch at school, and he won't take a lunch to school. So he waits until he comes home. Okay, so that's it for that one. Best recommendations for bouncing back from being down sick for more than a week. So same thing. I mean, isn't that interesting? Your body's stress response is also your body's health response. It's your terrain, right? The terrain, like I said, is like a plant. Think of a plant potted in soil, and it's sick. And you're like, what's going on? Why is this so dull? And this plant looks like sick and diseased. Well, sometimes there's things topically, but oftentimes it's the terrain, it's the dirt. And if you unpot it, you'll see that it's root bound, or there's some kind of insect in there eating it, or it's not getting enough water, or it's getting too much water and it's soggy, right? It's really important that you understand that our bodies, like when somebody has eczema, we are not treating the eczema. We do not go after, that's like shining the poo, right? You heard me say this before. It's like shining the leaves, or tacking on some fruit onto a tree and saying it's healthy. Well, no, it's clearly not. We work on the inside. That's probably your overeating sugar. You might have a massive stress response. Usually eczema is stress related. I have a friend that is very young who he is constantly rubbing on lotion and has so much rash. And I know him through my son. I don't know his parents, but I know that both of his parents are divorced. And I know that once a month he goes to his dad's house, and then
I'm just wondering why she's sharing this story on a public platform, and she's not related to this kid.
Yeah.
There's no respect in sharing the story. And as I'm sharing a story of a minor, I just don't know why she's doing that.
In a very like negative way of that.
Yep, to basically say that it's his fault, or the circumstances fault that he is sick. And that is a lot of the mentality in these groups, is that you're making yourself sick with your nasty chemical cleaners. You're making yourself sick with your really processed foods. You're making yourself sick with your negative thoughts. And it's like, come on.
And I mean, if you're deficient in nutrients, like, yeah, that can definitely play a role in supporting your immune system. Like, you can't boost the immune system. Whatever you're doing is just to support where you want it to be. It's not going to like be boosted, increased and stuff. So yeah, not a fan of it. Very shamey.
And the next month he's at his mom's house. So he spends he has a split, and they're in different cities. So it's like he's taken away from all of his friends after school for an entire month when he's at one house. Then he's at it's like, talk about stress for a 9th grader. And he's the sweetest kid I've ever met. Like, he is the nicest, sweetest, most I don't want it to rock the boat person you've ever met, and it's clear why. And I just want to love on that boy and say, Hannah, can I help you? Like, it's your stress, but he's not my child, and he's too young. So I've talked, he's asked me before when he's come over, and I've talked to him a little bit, but how do you help somebody manage stress when they're in a stressful environment? And it's literally that's what's causing it. So they do this they can. So I just want you to know that, like, bouncing back from being sick or having any issues, we want to look at the terrain inside. What kind of sleep are you getting? What kind of exercise are you getting? What kind of food are you eating? All the things. And then you can add supplements and things to help support it. But oftentimes we're trying to put out, and I'm going to use this analogy again to kind of rub it into you guys, on a bang you over the head with this. We are trying to put out a forest fire with a garden hose, right? And on the other end of the forest, you're adding gasoline. So it's like, how can I help you if you actually don't want to help yourself? So this year, if you want change in your life, you actually have to, at some point, make the decision to throw the gas can away, to say, I'm no longer going to add gas to my forest fire. We're going to get this under control. The supplements and oils, while helpful, are still technically a garden hose. Your 10 foundations are crucial. And if you don't know what those are, get into our group. We have 10 basic foundations that you need to make sure you have, these are free. These are things you can do on your own. It's not selling anything. I have a flyer that I pass out to my friends and I'm like, it sells you nothing. This is all free information. They're always like, what is this? And it's great, right? Probably one of the biggest parts of that flyer, it's called Essential Foundations, that people get irritated with, is the what to avoid list on the back, because they're like, how can anybody do this? And I'm like, well, this is the problem, that the avoid list is pretty high. And the group is on Facebook and it's called Club 31 Oils. So if you're not on that group and you're wondering what I'm talking about, you go to 31oils.com, look for the Essential Foundations flyer. You're also welcome to email me. So some of you guys who aren't on Facebook, I know there's a bunch of you probably on here that aren't on Facebook. You're welcome to email me or follow me along on my Instagram feed, because I've got tips going on over there right now. Every once in a while I get a bee in my bonnet to go on Instagram. So I'm on there right now, and it's Jen Author over there. Okay, so I'm giving funny little weird useful tips. Hopefully they're useful to you. All right, so I've not heard of the essential oil what is this? Opoponax. Who can pronounce that? Maybe that's why we don't carry it. It's like myrrh. She's wondering what it's related to. It's in a recipe for an anxiety inhaler. So it's a resin. It's kind of like myrrh.
An anxiety inhaler?
You don't have it because we don't need it. Like, you could use myrrh. So if you have myrrh, just use myrrh. So anyhow, okay, recommendations for supporting blood pressure and to support breathing. So do you mean these together or different? So
also, she's not allowed to.
That is an actual diagnosis.
Yeah, and you can't say that oils, you can't prescribe oils for, you can't say that oils can fix something like anxiety. Like, it's on a list I can't say on Young Living. So like, she's just feeling bold in this Zoom call, I guess. Like, I'm
trying to find the flyer that she was mentioning. Oh, and for the Stress Away challenge, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 things.
What is she having you buy? Oils?
Yeah, Stress Away, Unwind, Agilis, and the Super Vitamin D.
Interesting. That's going to be about $150. That, I mean, maybe it's not. I know Stress Away is about, like, how much is Stress Away? Stress Away is expensive.
That was one of the ones that was in the kit.
Yeah, the bigger bottle. So $41.78. 40.13 is for the big bottle. And then Agilis is $64. So you're over $100 already with 2 products.
Where is this flyer?
And Sulfurzyme, I don't know if Sulfurzyme is on it, but it's $80. So
that's a lot. So closer to $200.
Yep. And so you're getting a good chunk of money from someone. You're making a good commission off that person. So, oh my God. I'll press play, and when you find it, flag me.
Okay. I even put in the search of the group flyer and nothing's popping up. Maybe I'll email her and get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I'm going to continue to make sure that you guys know about this book. This is the Essential Oils, the Supplements Desk Reference. And this has a bunch of essential oil recipes in it as well. And I think some of you don't know that because it's supplements, but all of the Vitality line oils with tons of different recipes and tons of different supporting things for blood pressure, for respiratory support are in this book. So that's kind of a loaded question, because I mean, we could talk the whole hour on this, but I think a lot of people deal with blood pressure issues in general. It just depends. My husband has white coat syndrome. So that means that we have our own blood pressure monitor, and he takes his blood pressure at home, and I video record it so that when we go into the doctor, I show the doctor, here's his at home reading, and I'll do it 3 times. The doctor can see like it was all done right. Because his blood pressure's through the roof when anyone touches him that he doesn't know. So that's the way it goes. But on page 44 and 45, it talks about blood pressure and even blood thinners and kind of what that looks like. But yeah, I mean, there's things like mineral essence. A lot of us are mineral deprived. Probably the majority of people on the planet have a mineral deficiency.
So let me see. So the Essential Foundations detoxify. Consider limiting or removing these toxins from your life.
People who don't spark joy.
Yeah. Alcohol. People who don't spark joy, just kidding. Bacon, beer, caffeine, coffee, creamers, dairy, diet foods, drugs, energy drinks, fast food, food flavoring, food coloring, fried foods, gluten, GMOs, juice, margarine, memory foam, MSG, NSAIDs, parabens, petrochemicals, pharmaceuticals, phthalates or phthalates, sorry.
Pharmaceuticals? Just stop taking your medication?
Yup. Preservatives, processed meat, sausage, soda, soy, sugar alternatives, sugar, processed, smoking, sports drinks, synthetic cleaners, synthetic fragrance, synthetic lotions, toxic people, trans
Wait,
fats.
was that for real? Toxic
Yes.
people? I was just joking. I love that.
And triclosan. And trans fats. Oh my god.
Was that it?
What? Yep,
Oh,
that's it.
that's it.
That's
But
our whole list, which is basically everything. You can have water now.
medications?
Yeah, just a whole blanket statement. Pharmaceuticals, get them out of your life.
Pharmaceuticals,
What?
drugs. I mean, I was wondering if she meant drugs as in like prescription drugs, but like hard ones, yeah.
I bet she meant like you're probably making yourself sick with your stuff that's keeping you healthy, you know, because like there's some medicine that keeps people alive, that keep like I just come on.
That is true, very true. And the MSG, I have a whole video on MSG.
Oh, I'll have to link it in the
Fine.
description. Yep.
There's a lot of misunderstanding around that specific ingredient. That's a lot. Dang.
Ooh.
I can stand behind the toxic people. Trans fats too. Those aren't. nobody has any. There's not controversy around that.
Yep.
As far as somebody asked if the supplement or if people are deficient in minerals, I mean, it just really depends on what their intake is, and yeah, get that checked out, lab values, if you can.
So, if someone is going to the doctor and asking to get some tests done, what would do you know? Like, I'm not trying to ask for medical advice, but
just like a panel.
Just a panel. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, like, if you are getting the courage to go back up to the doctor, or if you're trying to get out of diet culture and actually start getting real information, it's sometimes overwhelming to know what the right thing to ask for is. So
yeah, dietitian can also help with that, even just like with specific symptoms, and like just a look at what your kind of variety is and see if there might be some overlap, or if somebody has celiac disease, for example, there are some nutrients of concern, or if they're an athlete, there are nutrients of concern, whether they are like young or older, or if they're vegan or vegetarian, or just lots of different things. There's what we call in dietetics nutrients of concern, where if you are in specific like categories or have specific kind of health conditions, then we'll look at those top nutrients of concern and then see like how much intake are you getting in general of those specific foods. And then we might encourage more foods that are higher in those specific nutrients.
Amazing. Y'all, Kat is a registered dietitian. She is still taking clients. If you're looking to work with someone incredible, she might be the right fit for you. So,
and they might not, and that's okay. There's lots of other dietitians who are awesome.
Yep.
Jessica, yes, there's a lot of misinformation about MSG rooted in racism.
I did not know that.
Yeah, around the Asian community or culture.
Wow. Wow. I did not know.
Or another. So there's just a lot of different things, and there's some different essential oils that you can try to use with it, and so there's recipes in there for that. Hopefully that's helpful for you. And then as far as breathing, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, pine and clarity and raven and RC and breathe again. I mean, there's tons of different, like peppermint, tons of different essential oils that can help support, just like, but it depends on what do you mean by breathing? Like I use lavender, lemon, and peppermint to help.
What do you mean by breathing?
Like open up my sinuses. But everyone is different, so you have to figure out what it is that you need it for and what you're trying to support it for. So again, whenever you guys ask a question, try to ask as much as you can as far as like specifics. So, and also someone just asked about recommendations to increase libido for females. And I mean, part of the issue is what you're doing, and kind of like we joke as we get older, it's kind of like less time that you're spending in the bedroom. Part of that is from any number of things. So if you are dealing with depression or anxiety, that's going to lower your libido. So again, this is a little bit of a loaded question because I would have to ask a lot of questions as to why we think the libido is low. It could just be simple perimenopause or menopause, right? That often happens. And you said for her, when I look at men though, low testosterone is a huge indicator, like meaning that their libido is low and they're not interested anymore, because most men are interested all the time. They have low testosterone. So for us though, FemiGen can be helpful. It just depends on, again, why. So I don't ever like recommending this hormone supplement or that, like, you know, PD20 or whatever. You don't just try it. Like some people say, oh yeah, Essence Plus is helpful. That's a good starting point. But like Lucy Libido, right? One of her things is that you guys got to just kind of start doing it. Like you got to start.
You're making me yawn.
Sorry, I'm just like my
if you're not flirting with your husband, you're
I'm
now
not
just
bored. I'm
like
just
roommates.
like tired.
So, and what that means is like throughout the day. And I mean, this isn't. You guys know I'm too much information sometimes. This is maybe inappropriate. This
or
is
misinformation.
Husband, but he's like, he just makes funny comments to me every once in a while. And like Jacob might even hear it. So, you know, it's no big deal, but he's like, oh, it's Taco Tuesday and maybe it's Titty Tuesday. You know, like hopefully you guys will laugh at that, but he's like, maybe, right? Like, where did that come from? Like, that was just today. And I'm like, okay, well, at least he's flirting with me still. And so I need to flirt back. And that's part of it. I think, ladies, that we get tired and we're busy with things and we have like stress and things going on. And so you're like, just stop touching me, right? I mean, really, menopause right now. I'm like, oh my gosh, your hands are so cold. Get off me, right?
What credentials does this person have? She's an independent brand partner and she's studying for her naturopathy doctor of naturopathy. So nothing. She's been in Young Living for a long time. I'm being an asshole. I know. I'm sorry.
You're tired.
I'm just, there's no filter at this point, and she's just like, she's saying, I mean, last week we learned how to, you know, how to do suppositories with essential oils, which is the worst idea on the planet. And she literally described how to like do all the things, and I'm like, no more recommendations from you.
And now this week she's telling us to not have bananas, not have apples. I think she mentioned strawberries were an issue too.
Yep. Yeah, and there's only some fruits that she's even willing to bring into the house because, you know, they're genetically modified to be too sweet and to be too, I don't know, too perfect. Oh my god. Oh yeah, Val and Gus, y'all missed it. Apparently we can't eat anything
it's
anymore.
Literally that. But I have to remember, like, no, he's
this is suppository lady.
You have to flirt back with him for your brain to get in the mood, right? That's the other thing. So we kind of had this running joke all day today because we had tacos for lunch, and then it was like, oh, it's Titty Tuesday, right? So that's the funny thing.
I didn't mean to
yell. How are you?
That was an excitement, not like a yes, like yes.
Because, I know a lot of women who, when their husbands get into that situation of low testosterone, they just back off quietly. They're like, oh yeah, I don't have to worry about that anymore because your libido has tanked, right? So
we love that.
I mean, part of it though is that there's that intimacy that's needed. That ladies, it's different for us, and you need that from him. You need that connection. So I don't want to get too much into a sex talk right now, but how do you engage on Wednesday? I don't know. What would be Wednesday? What would be something with Wednesday? He was trying to rhyme other things, or you know, the alliteration. I'm like, that's not working, bro.
I feel like there's no hair. Okay, I feel like there's kind of erasure of ace people.
Yes.
Just people who aren't interested in more of the physical, asexual people. Like there's not any inclusion of that in there. And just because somebody doesn't find themselves in like those situations, like that doesn't mean that they're not valid or anything. So yeah.
And she also talks with very traditional, I guess, language about relationships. She's assuming that women are going to be in relationships with men, and that's not.
Yeah, I mean, this is not surprising, but
yes, we're not super surprised. But live chat and replay crew just want you to know it's an inclusive corner on the internet for you here. And I'm still learning some things. So, and people in the late night live crew have been really kind to help give me some things to read. Not that it's on them to do that, but I am happy to like be around informed, kind people who help me. And when I ask questions, I can get answers and stuff. So I appreciate that. And I just want, again, just to acknowledge that if you are you're welcome here on my channel. I know you're incredibly welcome on Kat's channel, and she is far more articulate than I am. So it's just been, I don't know. I'm really happy to know Kat and that we could just stream together sometimes. Unfortunately, we're talking about this lady.
It's not surprising though, with where she's coming from, being in Young Living.
Yep.
So anyhow, oops, I lost the page here. So that was those questions that were on my page. Okay, what oil can you use if you've been exposed to gluten? So the answer is really none. Essential oils do not.
Okay, good.
And
I was scared for a second.
Followed me for years. Remember, I've tried everything, and I at one point found something to sort of work, but it was so bad. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. It was like 10 drops of tangerine and 10 drops of peppermint and 10 drops of lemon. Like, it was a huge, massive bomb that I felt like helped, but I realized later it really wasn't. It was just kind of giving me more like energy, and it was just too much. So don't.
Essential oils don't give you energy.
No,
I don't know
right.
what you're saying.
Neither do vitamins and minerals. They can help with energy production down the line, but calories are energy definition.
Wow. This is wild.
Don't do that. That's not safe to consume that much. But
yeah, she's talking about 30 drops and taking 30 drops of essential oils, which is half of a bottle. It's 2.5 milliliters of oil that she's talking about ingesting. You're not even supposed to.
Stomach after that.
Wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. Oh my gosh. Wow.
As far as gluten exposure, if you know you've been glutened, like you unintentionally went somewhere and you're like, oh my God, I don't travel without digestive enzymes. Today is Taco Tuesday, and we go to a place called Rio Cafe, which is high contamination. I don't order anything with gluten in it, but it's high contamination. And what I mean by that is they don't have a grill that is a separate gluten-free grill. So, somebody had a flour tortilla, it got put off, and then my corn tortilla went on, which means there's a good amount of gluten transfer. And some of you are like, no, my brother-in-law's like, no. And I'm like, yes, that's enough to cause a massive gluten reaction for me. I'm not eating gluten, but it's enough gluten, meaning I'm not physically having a flour tortilla, but there is gluten particles in there. So anyways, I took probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 digestive enzymes, and then more when I got home. So, Allerzyme, Essential Zymes 4, I'm like tripling up, quadrupling up, like just, I take it like right before I eat, and then right in the middle of the meal, and then a little at the end. So just know that that's the only way. And we go there.
That is not the recommended way to take that product.
Is she talking about for gluten?
Yep.
Okay. So digestive enzymes, they just help to break down, like if you think about enzymes, you can think of them as like a scissor. And if you have a long chain of protein, different like amino acids, all like holding hands next to one another, you have the enzyme coming in and like cutting it so that you can break down those individual amino acids. Or break down the protein into an amino acids. Same thing with carbohydrates to glucose and fats. That's if you have celiac disease, it doesn't matter how many digestive enzymes you have. That's not the problem. The breaking down is not the problem. What in the world? What is she doing? You don't need that many digestive enzymes if you even need them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really it's really twisty.
I thought of that, and then because she had mentioned with the cross contamination with like if somebody has celiac disease, I was like, I guess that's what she was saying. But yeah that was kind of sketchy the way she said that.
Yeah, I mean, and people who are are diagnosed with celiac, they're incredibly sensitive to gluten. My sister, she's sensitive to a lot of things, but she can't and my grandmother has it too. She can't do anything with gluten. And even if there's a small like transfer of it, she still gets sick. So I don't want to discount her. I think her language was probably not the best describing it, but I don't even know.
Digestive enzymes aren't going to fix that.
Yeah. So she's describing digestive enzymes fixing her, residue of a flour tortilla. I have questions whether she has a gluten allergy.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Too. Cross contamination.
Yeah. Yep. I get that.
Content, definitely. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's kind of.
And she hasn't said she has celiac. You are correct. I think she thinks that if I'm correct, there's a lot of people in Young Living and in that kind of circle where they think that the wheat itself has become too genetically modified for people to digest. That is I know that sounds wild. That is the kind of thought behind that. And Young Living even makes their own flour, the einkorn flour.
Oh, they do?
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
Interesting.
Every Tuesday, and I don't get gluten. And by the way, I'm extremely sensitive to gluten. Now, if you're a celiac, you can't do this. So I just need to remind you that.
Good.
I
She said
claim
that.
I'm a celiac,
Okay, so
but I don't have the doubled over in pain. My whole entire gut feels like it's going to come out of my body pain. I don't have that. I have what's called an emotional response to gluten. To me, it's worse. I would rather have that one day of.
Am I just not know what's going on? I've never heard of an emotional response. Like, does she get up? I don't know what's happening.
I'm laughing, but I'm more laughing out of question. What?
Yeah. Is there a I don't know. Maybe she's gonna explain. Maybe she'll explain more. I don't know.
Pain than the 4 to 7 days of being bipolar. So that's what happens to me. I end up. Have you ever drunk dialed somebody or texted? And I don't drink, so I just know what this seems like, right? You have no filter and you're texting, and you're talking to somebody. That's me. The girl who erupts at the waitress because the fork is dirty, like, and is screaming at her. That's me. So I can't have gluten, because if I get gluten in my system, I am crying for no reason. I'm like inconsolable. I'm aggressive. Like, I'm talking the person you just don't want to be around, because I'm mean. So, and it's bad. And I'm like, if I get gluten, you better believe it's all about like, Jesus, keep my mouth shut, because I just become a lunatic. I become.
Is this a thing? Maybe I'm sure it is a thing. I don't want to discount what she's
not
going
gonna
through.
discount her mental
I've
health
never
in any
heard of
way.
this. I've never heard of this. In the
I
live chat,
work
if you've
with a
heard
lot
of
of
it,
people with digestive health concerns, and that emotional response isn't something that has, I mean, it's more around like energy or like bloat, gas, constipation, diarrhea, mood, I guess, as a result of that, but not what she was explaining.
yeah. And if you have something for us to read, that if you experience it, or if you're on the replay crew and you want to link something in the comments, I'd love to read it. Or have my sister-in-law read it, or have Kat read it. I don't know.
See, if she knows it, like, she doesn't feel good with that. Like, there are sometimes when I work with people and they're like, I don't want to have that specific food, or it makes me feel a certain way. And so we just kind of put that aside and, focus on other things. I'm not going to like force them to eat something that they're not comfortable with or anything. And so same thing with her. Like, if she doesn't want to have that and she notices that she feels a certain way with that, it could be very much a physiological response to it, or it could be more of like a psychological response to it, because our brains can do a lot of wild things with just like placebo effects and the opposite almost. But my main concern is the using that anecdotally to make recommendations for other people. Like, that's where I'm like, what?
And that's a lot of what we're hearing too, is her experience, and then she's confidently saying this, and this, and it's gonna help you too. So, oh my gosh, I thought we were gonna get through more of the video. We're halfway.
Only halfway?
Oh my god. This happened to us last time with the suppositories. Oh my god. What do you want to do? Do you want to end the stream and do a part 2, or do you want to?
Kind of. I'm so hungry.
Yes. So
you keep
I
yawning.
think that's a good idea. Live chat, you've been incredible. Thank you for your insightful comments and your participation in an hour and a half of listening to this lady. Replay crew, much non-culty love to you. Let us know what you think. I don't even know. I can't even expect what people are gonna say in the comments, because I get surprised every time I listen to her. So,
but I do want to make that note that when we were very confused about their emotional response, that it wasn't about her necessarily, more of like recommendations and stuff.
Yep, exactly. And so again, when I say if you've experienced something like that, please take my apologies. I was shocked to hear about such a strong emotional response, especially with using a clinical diagnosis of something that people are diagnosed with as a description for the impact that gluten makes on her when she's not celiac, it was hard for me to process, and definitely didn't react the best to hearing that from her. Yeah. So
I mean, after suppositories and no bananas, no strawberries, no apples.
Yeah. There's a lot of back information
Yeah.
that we've reacted to this lady, so I'm sure she'll make an appearance in the future. And thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on Kat's channel and my channel. And if you want to see more and not anti-MLM, but talking about the deceptive marketing and business practices in multi-level marketing, trying to stand up to exploitation, with information and non ad hominem attacks, these channels might be for you. And Kat is incredible on her channel as well. And yeah, so we will see you on the next live stream. Bye.